Sup everyone. As we all know, anytime FromSoft creates a game, every shitty developer has to copy the formula and put their own spin on things. And after the monster that was Elden Ring, as usual, everyone's got to copy and jump on the bandwagon. Code Vein 2 is one of the latest additions to this list. It's Code Vein 1, but open world. Yay. So, does this new game match the pinnacle of Elden Ring? Does it reach the heights of one of the greatest giants? And does it beat out every single...
Oh my word, look at that.
No, it does not. But it is a fun game, albeit a deeply flawed game. As usual, I will be giving my thoughts on the game, what I liked and disliked about it, and things I think need improvement. Please like and subscribe or support my Patreon, I would love the support. Also, before I get into it, this is a spoiler warning, you have been warned. So Code Vein 2 is Bandai's take on Elden Ring, but with anime characters and storytelling. It's got the open world, the mount, the bosses, the mini dungeons, it's got them all. And it definitely does not fully capture the magic of Elden Ring. Like, the open world of Code Vein 2 just feels so unnecessary. The world is pretty empty, filled with the same enemies and same look-alike dungeons. The motorcycle is sort of fun to ride, like kinda meh as well, but the roads and stuff are incredibly confusing to navigate. Like, sometimes you are following a road, trying to get to a higher level, and at the end it just blocks or veers in a different direction and you just get lost. Why is it so fucking frustrating to explore this godforsaken land? And what are the rewards for exploring this world? Not much exciting, but I will get into that a bit later. I also did not really feel the want to explore a lot of the smaller mini dungeons. Like, some of the dungeons are out of your way and not part of the story, and I did not feel the incentive to really go out of my way to explore those mini dungeons. Like, in Elden Ring, you really want to explore every inch of that world, find all of the mini dungeons and bosses. And I know it's not necessarily fair to compare the two, but Code Vein 2 clearly is copying Elden Ring, so I kind of have to. Maybe it's just me, but part of Elden Ring's magic was the art style. A small part, but still important. It is so unique, like stepping into a painting, and exploring the world and visiting all of those locations was a sight to behold. I guess it depends on taste though, since art style is such a subjective thing. And the art style for Code Vein 2 is... meh. It's not bad, but I just think it's okay. That clay-like 3D anime art style is just not my thing. And the same thing can be said about the storytelling. I think the storytelling is pretty weak in my opinion. Like, the concept is sort of generic to Souls-likes, but it is also sort of interesting. It involves a lot of time travel and changing the past to rectify things, and I thought that part was pretty interesting. Like, you slay a boss that was your friend, but you find out like, hey, there's a way to travel back in time to change the past and fix things. I thought that was pretty cool. However, the way the story told kinda sucks. There's just so much dialogue, so many cutscenes of people just talking, and it's really annoying. The anime dialogue and drama does not help. Again, I love anime, but I hate anime dialogue in video games. The pacing and the way the dialogue is spoken always feels off and I hate it. And again, there's just so much expository dialogue that it is overwhelming. I swear to God, I don't remember like most of the dialogue even after playing through the game, just the broad strokes. And there are also these moments in the game where you have to run through small sections of just flashbacks, and these cannot be skipped. Although you can speed up the dialogue, which I 100% did. Honestly, this issue was there in Code Vein 1 as well, and in both games it is super annoying. Speaking of Code Vein 1, Code Vein 2 has so many of the same issues that the first game had, besides the storytelling. The weapon designs are really boring. Like, another part of the magic of Elden Ring was the loot system. You never knew what you were going to find. Maybe it was a cool, unique weapon. Maybe it was a cookbook. Maybe it was a sick talisman that made you stronger. The loot system of Elden Ring made it engaging to go around and explore. You wanted to go to as many places as possible because you could find something amazing there. In this game, the weapons basically function the same and look the same. It's just slightly different weapon patterns and maybe a different special move. They don't feel unique or special at all. It's just numbers on the screen. What does bigger damage at a time? And to me, that is a pretty boring kind of weapon system. The special moves were a bit interesting, but I ended up just spamming the same OP moves, so it kind of was like whatever for me. It serves its purpose well enough. And the rest of the loot system was not very interesting either. Maybe it was the icons, maybe it was the function of the loot, but it all sort of melded together into a boring pile of shit. The same can be said about the enemies. The mobs in this game are severely lacking in variety. It's just a combination of green and gray colored guys, and the occasional yellow guy or pink guy. Especially for an open world game, the enemy variety is sorely lacking. And the movesets are also not that interesting. It's just a basic slash or thrust and the occasional long-ranged attack. The environments are also not that interesting. There are 3 different kinds of overworld biomes: the ruined city, the ruined ghost town, or the ruined quarry. It's all the same kind of mesh of greens, browns, grays, and blacks, and the mini dungeons are also uninteresting. It's all just like generic city building interiors, just a mesh of metal structures. And I will say, this aspect Elden Ring struggled with in the base game as well, but that doesn't excuse Code Vein. The interiors are boring, just the same mashup of metal interiors and hallways. The bosses though are a mixed bag. As much as they resemble Code Vein 1's bosses, I actually did not mind these bosses. Sure, there's a lot of reused ones, but as long as they have an interesting moveset, I do not mind reuse here, especially if a boss fight is fun. And there are some fun boss fights. I like when you fight one version of one of the big bosses, and then you can go back in time and rectify their story, then you come back to the present and fight a completely different version of the boss. And those 6 bosses total are pretty fun to fight. They all are unique and have interesting movesets. Even if they do feel a bit damage spongy, it puts a cool spin in things, and I really enjoyed it. And despite my issues with the open world and the smaller dungeons, I did have fun exploring the world. There's just something so satisfying about driving down a road and then coming up on an abandoned warehouse or abandoned apartment building and just going in and exploring around. Although that was mainly done to complete quests. Like, despite my issues with the mini dungeons, the ones that I did explore or were part of the main story were fun to poke around in and unlock new features of maps. And same with Elden Ring, finding all of the regeneration upgrades and unlocks is still pretty fun. Although not much, this game is able to capture some of the magic of exploration that Elden Ring has, and to that I say, good for you. My favorite feature by far in this game though is the partner system, where you have an NPC with you to fight your fights with. They have a system in place where the NPC can damage the boss, but that damage can be healed back by the boss, so it incentivizes the player to keep playing aggressive and attack the boss/enemies. It is a fun feature that makes fighting the boss still feel engaging and rewarding even with the helper. Towards the end of the game though, my enjoyment of the game came to a screeching halt. The last level is awful, both for the first ending and the second ending. The first ending level featured the 3 boss fights that you previously fought, again for some strange reason, and then you need to fight Valentin, who is a fine boss, but at the end, the main character dies and the story just kinda ends. The second ending, you fix some stuff with the heroes, and then you need to go to the Sealed Spire, and the Sealed Spire is so AIDS to explore. Partly because the enemies are AIDS, partly because there are 3 areas where there are mandatory mob fights, and they are really annoying. And at the end of the 3rd mob fight, you have to fight a really annoying boss with a stupid mechanic. That does not even include the final boss of the second ending. So yeah, by that point, I was kind of done with the game. I fought the 3rd ending final boss 3 times and just called it quits. So yeah, in general, although the game has its flaws and a lot of hiccups, I still enjoyed the game. I think that it still has a sort of solid foundation that makes it fun to play. It's just that there's a lot of other stuff in the game that the game tried to implement and that is really flawed and not fun. I would give this game a 5 out of 10.